Happy holiday, happy holiday, may the merry bells keep ringing, happy holiday to you. It's the holiday season, and Santa Claus is coming round. The Christmas snow is white on the ground. When Santa gets into town, he'll be coming down the chimney down. He'll have a big fat pack upon his back, and lots of goodies for you and for me. So leave a peppermint stick for old Saint Nick hanging on a Christmas tree. It's the holiday season, so hoop-dee-doo and dickory-dock, and don't forget to hang up your sock, 'cause just exactly at 12 o'clock he'll be coming down the chimney down. He'll have a big fat pack upon his back, and lots of goodies for you and for me. So leave a peppermint stick for old Saint Nick hanging on a Christmas tree. It's the holiday season, so hoop-dee-doo and dickory-dock, and don't forget to hang up your sock, 'cause just exactly at 12 o'clock he'll be coming down the chimney, coming down the chimney, coming down the chimney down. Happy holidays, happy holidays, happy holidays, happy holidays, may the merry bells keep ringing, happy holiday to you.
And a good Thursday evening, everybody. Good to see everybody, and I literally mean that tonight in a very subtle way. It is good to see you more than you'll ever know after today, and I'm going to come back on the screen now. Let me just warn you, McDonald is I've not been in a back alley and gotten beat up. The doctor put this little patch on the screen on my eyes today, and I looked at it in the mirror. I said, oh my God, somebody's going to think I went out and got the mark of the beast or something. Last time I did this, there was just a big white thing, so they have become more modern with it, and this is what I got today. Oh, things could be worse, but we did survive the cataract surgery. That is where he marked me to make sure he got the right eye. I had to laugh at that this morning. He walked in there and he said, which eye am I doing? I said, Doc, you're the doc. I said, this one. You put that mark on it, so you make sure he did the right eye. We already done this one. But it went well. The only thing I had to get up early this morning. I was up at 4:30 this morning getting ready, and I won't be able to shower or anything till probably tomorrow night because you can't get water in this eye. And hadn't been able to do much today. But it's just been a fun day. But thank you all. I want to just say this. I had a lot of you. Thank you. Emily Court, all of you. Emily actually talked to me on the phone, checking on me this morning. Thank you all of you that did that, for the kind wishes and the well wishes. Thank you all, truly. My son Caleb, he was there today, and it was a good day. And I was going to be better off for it. Both eyes now free of cataracts until the next round, probably in about 20 years, they say. And so so hopefully this is the last time I'll be seeing the inside of a hospital. The procedure this morning, they were asking me all these questions, and it was like this heart thing I had 2 years ago, and they were sticking me. And Caleb looked at me. He said, "You got wires all over your place." And I said, "I'm used to it, son. I'm used to it. I've been through this little journey before." And but I want to thank Dr. Browning and the staff at Rowan County Medical Center. They said they'd be listening tonight to the show, and just in case they are, I want to give them a shout out. I didn't get their names, but the admission nurse and the one that was putting the drops in my eyes, and she dipped that stuff in there. She said, "This is going to tiger sting," and when I jumped, well, I tell you what, that stuff stung for a few minutes, and then it numbed the eye. And then the dear lady that was asking me the questions, we were having a lot of fun with her. She was asking me this and that, and I promised her that we would say hello to the staff and give kudos. We were treated with royalty at the Rowan County Medical Center. It's about an hour and a half from me, and I'm grateful for them this morning, and Dr. Browning and all the staff there at Tennessee Eye Care. So we thank them for that. Got to wear this patch probably for another 24 hours. I'm sorry, I'm seeing myself in this screen. It looks like I've had the living crap beat out of me right there. That's another mark. I think you put that on the tape. That may be the tape itself. Yeah, that's on the tape itself. But that's not on the tape itself. That's on my forehead. I got to wash that off. But Lord have mercy. All my detractors, they're gonna think I've become a Nazi. Thank God they didn't put a black patch over me. They're going to say, "Oh my God, McDonald's joined the Nazi party or something." No, it's cataract surgery. And I'm just getting a little chuckled at this. I almost didn't come on. Eric was going to be with me tonight, but I told him he's traveling. And I know how it is when you're traveling and trying to get on a show. It's hard. And I told him, I said, "Look, just enjoy your vacation, and we'll do this next week." And he was okay with that, and me too, because I wanted to come on and talk to you. We ain't done this in a while. We got several things breaking tonight, and I want to just, first of all, before I do anything else, say thank you. Della Stryker last night, McFiles, Wednesday night Faith Chat. What an excellent job she did on teaching us about Hanukkah. And I want to just thank her for that. Let me see if I can do one thing here with my mic. Just 1 second here. Let me turn that. Maybe that'll make my sound a little better. I want to thank her for doing an outstanding job telling us all about this holiday that started tonight at sundown Israel time. So that was about 7 hours ago. We want to take this opportunity tonight to all our Jewish friends all over the world. And I promise I'm not the Terminator. That's just the way the lights are hitting. I swear, it's just a weird night with this screen. Look at that. The reflection of the lights are coming against the lens here. I'm not the Terminator. God, somebody else is going to see me, and then I'm Illuminati and all this other stuff that's been out there. I'm not. I promise I'm not. It's just the way the lights are hitting my thing here. It's one of those days. But Della last night did a great job, and we want to wish all our Jewish friends tonight a very, very happy Hanukkah. And it's the beginning of an 8-night celebration. And we're going to try to have Ruth Wasserman-Lundy back on Monday night. And hopefully Ruth can come. We may get Ruth Gottenheim to come on if she can. And we'll see. We'll see how that works out. But we are grateful for the Jewish folks tonight. And this is a night of miracles. It's a night of lights. It's the season of lights. That's what it's called. And we are grateful for that. I'm going to do this a little bit. There we go. It sort of gets, I'm trying to get that red light. That red light, that little red speck is like right underneath my, it's right on my pupil. That's not helping either. Give me a minute here. We got some serious news. I'm trying to get serious here. It's hard trying to get through this. But we're going to take your questions at the end tonight. I know the chat ain't open right now, but we're going to take it. We're going to interact tonight. I'm not going to go long. But I do wanted to come over here. The big breaking news as of this hour, and want to play a couple of videos for you tonight. Several things we're going to be talking about, not a lot, but the ones we are going to talk about are very important tonight. The first one is it has to do with Hunter Biden. Hunter Biden, the president's son, as of 8 o'clock tonight, Jesse Waters was coming on, and they have indicted the president's son. Now, we don't understand the charges. We're trying to get a handle on that. We did put a link into the chat room of the Telegram room with the story from Gateway Pundit and Breitbart too. I think Breitbart was a little late reporting it, but Gateway Pundit was reporting it, and but the president's son tonight has been indicted. Now, I'm assuming it's related to the banking stuff. Joe is supposed to go before a congressional committee the 22nd or the 13th. I take that back, not the 23rd, but the 13th, which would be next Wednesday, a week from yesterday. And what he's trying to do is stave off impeachment, because they're trying to get the records from Mr. Hunter here as to these business dealings with the Bidens. I saw a figure tonight, folks. You realize that in 2016, the Bidens' annual income was about, I think, between the two of them, less than $100,000, maybe $150,000. Do you know what it was last year? Are you ready for this? $16.2 million. That's just in a matter of 7 years. How does your income go from $150,000 to $200,000, which is about normal for an ex-vice president, probably, with everything and the book deals, and if there's book deals or whatever, and her job and so forth. But their annual income that was reported in 2022, $16.2 million. I'll let you do the math on that. I'll let you make the science and let you make the call on that. But he has been indicted tonight, and that's the story we will follow. I did not bring my glasses in here, so this might be an interesting night. The other thing that I want to talk about is Christopher Wray as well. He was before a subcommittee talking about the threats to the nation, and it's very telling what he's got to say tonight. This is very troubling. I want you to listen to this video. This is the FBI director just yesterday about how much we're a threat in America. Roll the tape.
So what I would say that is unique about the environment that we're in right now in my career is that while there may have been times over the years where individual threats could have been higher here or there than where they might be right now, I've never seen a time where all the threats, or so many of the threats, are all elevated all at exactly the same time. That's what makes this environment that we're in now so fraught, and why funding our men and women who are working shoulder to shoulder with state and local law enforcement and other partners every day makes it even more important, not less.
So, blinking red lights analogy about 9/11, all the lights were blinking red before 9/11. Apparently, obviously, all of us missed it. Would you say that there's multiple blinking red lights out there?
I see blinking lights everywhere I turn.
Okay. Blinking lights everywhere the FBI turns tonight, the threat level that's against you out there tonight. Folks, look, I agree with Director Wray. I agree with him. But these threats are not something that just popped up yesterday. From the day that Joe R. Biden stepped into that White House and opened the gates of hell to this country at the border, 50 million. Victor Avila went Monday night. 50 freaking million illegals have been allowed in. They're in here right now. 15 million have been allowed in since January 2021. I was down at the border in February or March may have been April, come to think of it, because I got sick last week of April into May, and it would have been after the eye surgery. After my cataract surgery in February 21, that's right, I went to the border in March, came back, got sick late April. But I actually got sick the week I got back. I will never forget, I ran a fever. I was coming back through, stopped in Baton Rouge to be with Brother Swaggart and the Rosensterns, and family and John and Josh, and I remember catching a fever that following week, and it went downhill from there. So that would have been April. Okay, 1st of April I was there. From that time on, 15 million illegals have come into this country. Illegal aliens. You can call them whatever you want to call them. They're illegal aliens. And we know from Victor Avila's reporting Monday night, folks, a lot of these illegals are not coming from these Middle American countries, Central American countries. Some of them are coming from Hamas itself, Iran, China, North Korea, Ukraine, all of these nations that hate America, probably some Russians in there. When he says that the lights are blinking everywhere, he's right about that. But my question to Director Wray is, why has the FBI then used all of their blanking resources, I'll just use that analogy to save myself from saying a word I shouldn't use on my show tonight. But why is it that all these blinking FBI agents have been targeting Catholics, pro-lifers, teachers, or people that are standing before school boards screaming about their kids reading pornography in their schoolrooms? Basically going after Trump supporters, going after the J6ers, setting people up, infiltrating the J6 fiasco. So his little bullshit speech, if you don't mind me saying so, on a 2020 vision Thursday night on the McFiles rings a little hollow with me. He's right about it. There is a blinking light. And, but there's been a blinking light going on for years, folks. But it's like they all of a sudden wake up and see Jesus. What infuriates me with this is that the media then portrays the FBI as the great protectors of the country, and they're not. No, they have done nothing but sell this country out and protect Hunter Biden. They're the ones that basically went after anybody as being liars that was saying that the laptop of Hunter Biden, which, you know, Brad Johnson has told us often that the laptop of Hunter Biden probably makes the laptop of Anthony Weiner look like Romper Room. And they have done nothing to protect that one that got indicted tonight. I heard Laura Ingraham say this, and I'm a little upset with Fox, and I'll explain that in a minute. But she said that the reason that she believes that they indicted Biden's son, because if he's under indictment in one case, his attorneys can claim he can't comment on any other case to protect him from the fallout of this one. And guess where he's probably going to use that defense at the congressional hearing, that they're trying to get to the bottom of his dad's corruption. Brilliant. You got to give these Bidens credit. You got to give these Bidens credit. Here is the figure right here. It was not, I was way off. 2016, 396, still a lot of money. 396,456, and a former first vice president, a former senator. That's, wouldn't be doubt that would be their income every year. Look at their income between 2017 and 2019, folks, when that was the time that a lot of these business dealings in Ukraine were being under scrutiny. Look at that income, $16.6 million. Whew. My goodness, somebody been getting some money from somewhere. Now, I'm no financial expert, and I sure ain't a prognosticator, and I can't see, literally I can't tonight. I can't see it all tonight. I look like I won't say what I look like tonight. But $16.6 million in the matter of a year, folks, my goodness, it don't take a kindergartner to figure that out, and that money came from somewhere. And we're trying to get to the bottom of it. Congress is trying to get to the bottom of it. Kennedy's trying to get to the bottom of it. Comer's trying to get to the bottom of it. Jordan's trying to get to the bottom of it. By the way, bye-bye, Kevin McCartney. Enjoy retirement. What a loser. He resigned today. He's not going to be in Congress after January. Bye-bye, Kevin. We're not going to miss you. Enjoy California. You was nothing but a rhino anyway. And you getting your clock handed to you. and losing the speakership, a sore loser now. He's going to go. You know, one thing Matt Gaetz said today, I have to agree with. At least Nancy stuck around. I mean, Nancy had her butt handed to her 3 or 4 times. If she stays in that Congress and creates all sorts of mess with the Dems, that's what makes you so sick of the Republicans. Bunch of cowards. They're a bunch of political whores, pimps, and cowards. That's all they are. And we got a spiritual component to that in this country too. But the political side of it, they're a bunch of cowards. So he's gone. But there are some Republicans that are trying to get to the bottom of it. We hope they do. But that's the breaking news tonight. We'll talk more about that as we'll get Branko on tomorrow night. Branko's coming tomorrow night. And we will talk to him about that. This is a good meme tonight. We got a couple of videos to show you. Bidenomics, you pay taxes. I send it to the Ukraine. They send it back to Hunter. And Hunter gives it back to me. We're trying to get to the bottom of where that money went. 16.596 million of it. A lot of money. That's a lot of money. Speaking of the Ukraine tonight, I don't know if you heard about this. Very, very intriguing report. Let me see if I can find the meme. It's not a meme. It's actually a statement that Defense Secretary Lloyd Johnson made tonight, and it should trouble you all. It has to do with the Ukraine. And basically what he said, I tell you what, if I can't find it tonight, I'll definitely find it tomorrow night. I wanted to quote it directly, but let's see here if I've got it under this other attachment folder. Well, I don't. Well, shootola. I'll just summarize it. Lloyd Johnson was asked tonight about the money because Mike Johnson is blocking, Speaker of the House Mike Johnson has said there's not going to be any more Ukraine money without an audit. Well, Johnson comes out tonight and I'm paraphrasing this. I don't have the exact quote, but basically what he said if we don't send money to the Ukraine to pay for the war against Russia, guess what the Department of Defense is threatening to do? He said, we're going to send your uncles and your sons and your daughters and your brothers and your sisters over there, and we'll just send American troops over there to fight the Russians. This is a war-mongering, war-whoring administration, folks. It's not just the Dems. It's not just the Dems. It's not just the Dems. They are a war-whoring, war-mongering group. They want war. And they're trying to bankrupt the United States of America in doing it, and so forth. Oh, I know what that light is. The light is from my microphone. I kept looking at that. So let me see if that's going to help. No, that's not helping either. I'm getting that light off of somewhere. Hang on just a second. It's freaking me out. I know it's freaking you out, so let me turn that off. There we go. That's better. And now I got a green light. Let me hang on just a second here. Goodness gracious. I've got there we go. I got my beautiful babies over here, and I got a little glass thing, and it illuminates, but it was causing me to look like a demon. Sorry, it was freaking me out. I was like, where's that light coming from? All right, now that's gone. Now I can concentrate. He said it. That's what they want. They're extorting Congress and saying, I tell you what, if you don't send us this money, we'll just institute the draft, and we'll send your kids over there. We're going to send your uncles and your brothers and your sisters. That's a piece of turd Department of Defense official. To me, that's treasonous. But that's this administration, folks. That's why elections matter. That's why elections matter. I can say more about that, but anyway. Very troubling. By the way, speaking of a couple of other things, and then we're going to get into some of your questions tonight. This is the Penn State fallout. This is interesting. This is the lady from the University of Penn that, and I thought I had her video downloaded. I tell you what, I'm just having the worst time finding these videos, and I so need a, oh, here it is right here. Here it is right here. This is from yesterday in front of the congressional hearing. I want you to listen to this lady. This is Pat McGill from the University of Penn, basically saying it's okay to call for genocide against the Jews on the university campus. She lost $100 million donation, so she went out, apologized today after the $100 million went missing and now are gone because one of the donors could not stomach what she said yesterday in front of Congress. Listen to this. This is at your universities. Roll the tape.
Ms. Stefanik, you're recognized for 5 minutes.
Dr. Gay, a Harvard student calling for the mass murder of African Americans is not protected free speech at Harvard, correct?
Our commitment to free speech...
It's a yes or no question. Is that corrected? Is that okay for students to call for the mass murder of African Americans at Harvard? Is that protected free speech?
Our commitment to free speech...
It's a yes or no question.
Beautifully said. That's a yes or no question. Yes or no. Is it free speech? Ms. Stefanik is asking the right question, and she's demanding the right answer. But Ms. Gay, as they always do when they get their backside derrieres into a pickle, into a ringer in their woke universe of crap, they never can answer yes or no. Keep going.
Let me ask you this. You are president of Harvard, so I assume you're familiar with the term intifada, correct?
I've heard that term, yes.
And you understand that the use of the term intifada in the context of the Israeli-Arab conflict is indeed a call for violent armed resistance against the state of Israel, including violence against civilians and the genocide of Jews. Are you aware of that?
That type of hateful speech is personally abhorrent to me.
And there have been multiple marches at Harvard with students chanting, quote, there is only one solution, intifada revolution, and, quote, globalize the intifada. Is that correct?
Let me add something to that. There have also been marches on Harvard, Penn, Yale, San Francisco universities, California, all over this nation, folks, Berkeley, all of them, saying gas the Jews, kill the effing Jews from the river to the sea, and the list could go on. And none of these deans, none of these administrations have done a blanking thing about it. I'll just use Christopher Wray's term, not a blinking, red light blinking thing about it, with no repercussion to these students. None whatsoever. Roll the tape. I got more to say about this. Roll the tape. Keep going.
I've heard that thoughtless, reckless, and hateful language on our campus. Yes.
So based upon your testimony, you understand that this call for intifada is to commit genocide against the Jewish people in Israel and globally, correct?
I will say again, that type of hateful speech is personally abhorrent to me.
Do you believe that type of hateful speech is contrary to Harvard's code of conduct, or is it allowed at Harvard?
It is at odds with the values of Harvard.
Can you not say here that it is against the code of conduct at Harvard?
We embrace a commitment to free expression, even of views that are objectionable, offensive, hateful. It's when that speech crosses into conduct that violates our policies against bullying, harassment.
Does that speech not cross that barrier? Does that speech not call for the genocide of Jews and the elimination of Israel? You testify that you understand that is the definition of intifada. Is that speech according to the code of conduct or not?
She can't answer it.
We embrace a commitment to free expression and give a wide berth to free expression, even of views that are objectionable.
You and I both know that's not the case. You were aware that Harvard ranked dead last when it came to free speech. Are you not aware of that report?
As I observed earlier, I reject that characterization.
It's the data shows it's true. And isn't it true that Harvard previously rescinded multiple offers of admissions for applicants and accepted freshmen for sharing offensive memes, racist statements, sometimes as young as 16 years old? Did Harvard not rescind those offers of admission?
That's right.
That long predates my time as president.
But you understand that Harvard made that decision to rescind those offers of admission?
I have no reason to contradict the facts as you present them.
Correct, because it's a fact. You're also aware that a Winthrop House faculty dean was let go over who he chose to legally represent, correct? That was while you were dean.
That is an incorrect characterization of what transpired.
What's the characterization?
I'm not going to get into details about a personnel matter.
Well, let me ask you this. Will admissions offers be rescinded or any disciplinary action be taken against students or applicants who say, from the river to the sea or Intifada, advocating for the murder of Jews?
Come on.
As I've said, that type of hateful, reckless, offensive speech is personally abhorrent to me.
And today that no action will be taken? What action will be taken?
When speech crosses into conduct that violates our policies, including policies against bullying, harassment, or intimidation, we take action, and we have robust disciplinary processes that allow us to hold individuals accountable.
What action has been taken against students who are harassing and calling for the genocide of Jews on Harvard's campus?
Come on.
I can assure you we have robust
What
disciplinary
actions have been taken? I'm not asking.
Actions underway.
I'm asking what actions have been taken against those students.
Given students' rights to privacy and our obligations.
Some of
under
those
FERPA,
leaders of those campuses had to answer for failing to fight the
other than to reiterate that processes are ongoing.
Do you know what the #1 hate crime in America is?
I know that over the last couple of months, there has been an alarming rise of anti-Semitism, which I understand is the critical topic that we are here to discuss.
That's correct. It is anti-Jewish hate crimes. And Harvard ranks the lowest when it comes to protecting Jewish students. This is why I've called for your resignation. And your testimony today, not being able to answer with moral clarity, speaks volumes.
Way to go, Elise. Good job. Good job. I got more. She wasn't done. And I found a couple of other videos that we can listen to because this is important, because she wasn't done. That lady at Harvard needs to resign tonight. She's a pathetic disgrace.
At MIT, does calling for the genocide of Jews violate MIT's code of conduct or rules regarding bullying and harassment? Yes or no?
If targeted at individuals, not making public statements.
Yes or no? Calling for the genocide of Jews does not constitute bullying and harassment?
I have not heard calling for the genocide for Jews on our campus.
But you've heard chants for Intifada.
I've heard chants, which can be anti-Semitic depending on the context, when calling for the elimination of the Jewish people.
So those would not be according to the MIT's code of conduct or rules?
That would be investigated as harassment if pervasive and severe.
Ms. McGill, at Penn, does calling for the genocide of Jews violate Penn's rules or code of conduct? Yes or no?
Listen to this.
If the speech turns into conduct, it can be harassment. Yes.
I am asking.
I want you to listen to what the lady just said, folks. If the speech turns into conduct, then that's harassment. And pardon me for the distraction. I'm trying to get the meme, because one of the donors of this lady's institution, of the Penn Institution, is gone. $100 million out the door. Out the door. She couldn't tell this lady, Miss Elise, Miss Representative Stefanik, who I respect for trying to bring awareness to this greatly. Let me tell you something. When she says that's like a wife beater, folks. That's just exactly like a police telling a wife that is getting the hell beat out of her by her husband that we can't do nothing, or at least let's just say, let me liken it this. Let's just say that the husband's threatening the wife's life, or there's somebody out there that's threatening my life or your life, and they make verbal threats to you. They say, I'm going to rape your wife, or I'm going to kill your kids. I'm going to tear your house down, burn your house down. Folks, under a law-abiding society, you know that's illegal. You can't do that. You can't threaten somebody with murder. You can't do that. You can go to jail. Threatening murder is a crime, at least still, I think, in America. And what by this theology of this Penn State moron, or Penn moron, excuse me, Penn State folks, but the University of Penn moron says, well, until the conduct becomes, or the speech becomes conduct, it's not harassment. Folks, they were calling for the killing and the murdering and the raping of Jews who were hiding in bathrooms on these campuses. Roll the tape. Keep going. But you need to understand this moral equivalence tonight. And I might as well go ahead and get my shot in. All of you that are supporting these Hamas atrocities and not standing with Israel, you're behind this. You're supporting this.
Specifically calling for the genocide of Jews, does that constitute bullying or harassment?
If it is directed and severe or pervasive, it is harassment.
Wow.
So the answer is yes.
Wow.
It is a context-dependent decision.
It's a context-dependent decision. That's your testimony today. Calling for the genocide of Jews is depending upon the context. That is not bullying or harassment. This is the easiest question to answer yes, Ms. McGill.
Not for Miss McGill, it ain't. Roll the tape.
So is your testimony that you will not answer yes?
If it if the
yes
speech
or
becomes
no?
if the speech becomes conduct, it can be harassment. Yes.
Conduct meaning committing the act of genocide? The speech is not harassment? This is unacceptable, Ms. McGill. I'm going to give you one more opportunity for the world to see your answer. Does calling for the genocide of Jews violate Penn's code of conduct when it comes to bullying and harassment? Yes or no?
It can be harassment.
The answer is yes. And Dr. Gay, at Harvard, does calling for the genocide of Jews violate Harvard's rules of bullying and harassment? Yes or no?
It can be, depending on the context.
What's the context?
What's the context?
Targeted as an individual. Targeted at an individual.
It's targeted at Jewish students. Jewish.
Let me tell you the hypocrisy of all this. Folks. A conservative that goes on those campuses to talk to the students about conservative values, of conservative things, a person of faith that would go on those campuses to talk to them about the Bible, God, Christ, forgiveness, hell, heaven, things of that nature, what's right, wrong, they would be sued. Harvard would be sued and burned to the ground by these same people that are calling for the genocide of Jews. These students would go up in smoke, and they would sit there, and you know what these same you-know-whats would say about that kind of speech? Well, we've got to protect the students from the violence, and we've got to protect the students from their feelings and the bad effects that those kind of things being said would do to the students. That's the evil in this and the hypocrisy of it.
Individuals. Do you understand your testimony is dehumanizing them?
Yes,
Do you
it is.
understand that dehumanization is part of antisemitism? I will ask you one more time. Does calling for the genocide of Jews violate Harvard's rules of bullying and harassment? Yes or no?
Anti-Semitic rhetoric.
And is it anti-Semitic rhetoric?
Anti-Semitic rhetoric, when it crosses into conduct that amounts to bullying, harassment, intimidation, that is actionable conduct, and we do take action.
So the answer is yes, that calling for the genocide of Jews violates Harvard Code of Conduct, correct?
Again, it depends on the context.
It does not depend on the context. The answer is yes, and this is why you should resign. These are unacceptable answers across the board.
Well done, Elise. Well done. That's all I can say about that. Folks, that's where we're at tonight. You got a country, and folks, these are elites. These are educated. These are the people that are teaching your kids in college. Not teaching my kids, because my kid, thank God, is going to an online school, and I've got him thinking right. He's thinking trade school. He's not thinking four-year college. He's thinking, get me a trade. He listened to his daddy's advice. Thank you for listening to my advice, Caleb Joseph McDonald. I'm proud of him. But those of you that got kids enrolled in these four-year colleges and you're shocked when they come back atheists, you shouldn't be after listening to that. They cannot tell you that asking for genocide against Jews is worthy of their condemnation. Now, I don't have the other video. I'm going to have that for tomorrow night with Branko, because the Penn lady got her ASS handed to her tonight because one of their biggest donors had just wrote a check for $100 million to the college. He withdrew that donation tonight. And he said it was a direct result of her testimony at that hearing. He said he was sickened by the anti-Semitic remarks of the president, who's not fired tonight as of, what time is it, 9:47? She's not fired. So, that's that. I got one other thing that I want to talk about tonight, and I was not on with you Tuesday night like I wanted to be. We may do another late show tomorrow night, and I'm going to deal with this a little bit more. But I want to come over here to my screen. I want to read this. I just want to read this article. There was a video of her and this exchange, but this was the other piece of you-know-what this weekend that nobody's talking about. J. Paul. Pramila J. Paul, right in the Democratic state of Washington, clashed this weekend with Dana Bash, a raging liberal, of all things, on CNN. I couldn't believe that CNN got a conference on the silence from some fellow progressive leaders on Hamas's use of rape as a weapon of war against Israeli women. Quote, this is what Bash told Ray Paul. It's kind of remarkable that this issue hasn't gotten enough attention globally. Widespread use of rape, brutal rape, sexual violence against Israeli women by Hamas. I've seen a lot of progressive women, generally speaking, that are quick to defend women's rights and speak out against using rape as a weapon of war, but downright silent on what we've seen on October the 7th and what might be happening inside Gaza right now to those hostages. Why is that? J. Paul contested the premise. I don't know that that's true. Listen to her. She's denying it. I don't even know if that's true. We always talk about the impact of war on women in particular. In fact, I remember 20 years ago, I did a petition around the war in Iraq saying that. Bash cut in, asking whether J. Paul had talked about it since October the 7th, when the U.S. designated terrorist organization Hamas launched a surprise attack on Israel's southern border, killing 1,200 Israelis. It's really been more like 1,400, and taking more than 240 hostages. Oh, absolutely. And I've condemned what Hamas has done. I've condemned all of the actions against women, Bash asked. Absolutely. The rape of course, before pivoting her answer to focus on Israel. If they do not complain or comply, noting it is a democracy that's held to a higher standard, if they do not comply with international law, she threw it back on Israel. And frankly, morally, I think we cannot say that one war crime deserves another. That is what not international humanitarian law says. Bash pointedly noted J. Paul's diversion. Okay, with respect. I was just asking you about the women, and you turned it back to Israel. I'm asking you about Hamas. I've answered your question, Dana. I said it's horrific. I said it's horrific, and I think that rape is horrific. Sexual assault is horrific. I think that it happens in war situations. Terrorist organizations like Hamas obviously are using them. She didn't say they were using it. She says they're obviously using. Words are everything, folks. Her insinuation is it's obvious they are, but we're not sure they are. However, look at this right here. I think we have to be balanced about bringing in the outrages against Palestinians. 15,000 Palestinians have been killed in Israeli airstrikes, 3/4 of whom are women and children. By the way, folks, that is a complete bullshit lie. Those figures that she's quoting were coming from Hamas. If Hamas told me tonight that I had a patch around my eye, I wouldn't believe him. If Hamas told me that Chris has got a flag on his screen tonight, I wouldn't believe him. All of that's bullcrap. This is a representative, folks, in the freaking United States Congress that cannot condemn the rape of Hamas. Now, got a few other things because I want to go to 10. At 10 o'clock, I'm going to open the chat up to you. I know you're just biting at the bit. You're biting at the bit, and I don't blame you. You're biting at the bit to chime in on some of this tonight. By the way, By the way, this video here is a very touching video. This is a couple of things I want to show you before we get to that. Going back to the Penn lady, they lost $100 million donation over the anti-Semitism. That's the story there. This is, by the way, I forgot to mention one thing tonight. This is Pearl Harbor Day. Today is the 81st anniversary of Pearl Harbor. Surprise attack. Only surprise attack other than 9/11 on the American soil. Only other time we got attacked. People are slowly forgetting that. The Japanese imperial machine thought that they could catch us by surprise, and Hitler was so ticked off about it because he knew what it did. It basically it was the beginning of the end of World War II, because America had sit on the sidelines and let the world rage in war and millions die without intervening, which we should have intervened a lot sooner. But Roosevelt had too many PU something in his cabinet, like all Democrats are, and wussies that would not stand up against fascism. Basically like this representative I just described, and also like those ladies that can't define genocide as being evil. We had people in the government, men in that same, I'm not highlighting the women because that's women, but the men were just like that. There were men in the cabinet of FDR and Franklin Delano Roosevelt basically that said, we don't need to fight. We don't need to fight. Well, when Japan attacked us, we had no choice. And Hitler basically said, that you have, the Japanese emperor, Ito, I believe, said, we've awoken a sleeping giant. We have awoken a sleeping giant. I had a video of a mom and dad, and I may have it in the download section. Hang on just a second. That they testified. Here is one of the family members right here. I'll just read this from Marina. This is the brother and sister kidnapped by Palestinian terrorists on October the 7th. Who were returned as part of a ceasefire deal. They told harrowing stories of the pain they endured in captivity. Atai, the 18-year-old boy, was shot in the hip by the terrorists. He was operated on in Gaza without anesthesia. The 21-year-old sister, Mia, was shot by them in the ankle. She was operated on by the terrorists who reattached the bones upside down. After their release, both received corrective surgeries in Israel. They have been discharged from the hospital and are now home. That's just the touch and the tip of the iceberg, folks. Just the tip of the iceberg as to what some of these people endured. I will have this video tomorrow night because I want you to hear this mother that basically, oh, here it is right here. Here it is. I do have it. I want you to listen to this. Give me a few more minutes. We're going to get your questions here tonight. We're going to be here for a while.
Days, you certainly could say,
I want you to listen to this mother
for Hadass Calderon.
Talk about
the past 2 months,
what happened to her
has
children.
Become one of the most prominent public voices among those who have family or had family taken hostage by Hamas into Gaza on October 7th. Last week, her 2 children, 12-year-old Erez and 16-year-old Sahar, were finally freed after having been snatched by the terrorists from kibbutz near Oz, leading to a joyous reunion with their mother last week. But their father, Ophir, is still being held captive by Hamas, along with several other fathers who also saw their wives and children released in last week's deals. And Hadass is, of course, still mourning the deaths of other family members and friends who were murdered by the terrorists on October 7th, including her mother, Carmela Dan. Well, joining us now from Tel Aviv is Hadass Calderon. Hadass, thank you for joining us. First of all, just tell us, all of Israel wants to know, how are your children doing?
They're very happy to be back. They can't stop talk. And it's like, what can I tell you? It's not easy. They're very, very excited. They got through a very traumatic situation. And all the safety, all the basic safety, security was damaged. And they have a lot of hard stories, tough stories. They said it was like the game Fortnite in the computers, the army game.
Sure.
They said it was the same. They felt like they are in a computer game. They couldn't believe that is what's happened to them. And slowly we realize how we have to help them and to heal them. And the main thing now is to bring the father back.
Yes,
because otherwise, otherwise they can't really get healed without to be full family, and they miss him and very worried for him.
There's the father.
Because now they understand the situation. They know exactly what is getting through and all the other hostage.
Right.
So they're very worried.
Right. Now, I understand. Hadass, you've been a very prominent voice among the forum of the hostage, families of hostages. We're getting word today that the Prime Minister has agreed to their request for a meeting with the full war cabinet tomorrow. I don't know. That's a report. I presume you would be there, of course. What would you say what will you say, or if you're given the chance, what will you say to the Prime Minister, the Defense Minister, and Benny Gantz, the members of the War Cabinet?
I will tell them they must rush. They must act immediately. To make solution. They start in a good way, all this. They got a solution and this kind of deal that start very well. They must continue. They must make all of the hostage come back. It's not my job to tell them how and the solutions. They have to solve it. It's their job,
Sure.
They have to solve it, and immediately. And now,
all right, I'm going to hold that video off to tomorrow night. We're going to play that again. But, folks, that's just the tip of the iceberg. I'm trying to find an article I saw on World Israeli News that it is growing concern that men, not just women, but men, were being sodomized and raped in this onslaught of hell against the Israeli citizens, boys. Let's just say it like it is, boys, young boys, and men, women, children, babies. This atrocity, folks, this barbaric atrocity was beyond pale. J. Paul basically denied it happened. Did you hear that? She says, we're not sure it happened. And then she pivoted to Israel and accused them of international war crimes, as if raping boys. Folks, the brother and sister, you doing a surgery without anesthesia. Can you believe that? Think about that. Think about the pain. Think about the ankle being put back on backwards and you're having to go back into surgery and have it redone. That's these barbaric animals. Barbaric animals that Israel is dealing with tonight. And many are supporting with their lies and with their silence. By the way, this is the wonderful Palestinian children. These are these peaceful Palestinian children that Ray Paul was claiming that Israel had killed, which is a lie. Which is a lie. And she's a liar. Roll the tape. That's in the West Bank on 10/7. There's the children kissing the ground. Those were children cheering on the Hamas atrocities in the West Bank. And by the way, one other thing, this guy is being cornered tonight. His reign of terror is about to be over. I got something to say about President Trump. The Hamas leader, unconcerned.
الشعوب يا أختي العزيزة لا تتحرر بسهولة. الروس قدموا 30 مليون ضحية في الحرب العالمية الثانية حتى يتحرروا من هجوم هتلر عليهم. الشعب الفلسطيني مثله مثل كل شعوب، ما في شعب يتحرر بدون تضحيات.
Basically what he's saying there, and that's the end of what he was saying, he basically was saying that he does not care about the Palestinian people, and Hamas don't. But this war machine media and this hateful rhetoric of anti-Semites and these cowards that are silent are just as bad to me, if not worse, of all of them. But folks, they don't care. Hamas don't care about the people out of their own mouth. He said, Russians sacrificed 30 million of their people against Nazis. Who cares? That's how they feel tonight. That's how they feel tonight. That's who the people Israel's dealing with. One other quick thing, and I'm trying to find it. I'll deal with it tomorrow night more with Branko. Because we're going to address all of this again tomorrow night, and we probably have some breaking news. We'll have more update on the Hunter Biden thing. But speaking of President Trump, I do want to say something about President Trump. He came out tonight. I'm going to find that video and play it tomorrow night. But he basically posted this on his, I think that's on Twitter tonight, the X. He said, there's no fraud here. An accounting expert testified to that point blank tonight. There was no fraud. That's President Trump today. And President Trump basically came out and slammed the Attorney General of New York, slammed the judge, as he should. And he basically said that despite even the expert testimony, that judge is probably going to find him guilty. It's a kangaroo court in New York. And I hope upon appeal that judge is removed. All right, chat is open. Facebook and YouTube tonight. The chat is open in YouTube and Facebook. You've got a question, I'm going to interact with you now. While you're doing that, I'm going to put up a few more memes, put up a few more things as to what we've been talking about tonight. I can tell you right now that, let's see here. This is a great meme tonight. That was October the 7th. December the 7th. December the 7th. That's from a great Twitter handle, Marina McDivin. Medvin, I'm sorry, I can't see tonight. MDMEDVIN. It's a great thing there. We had some funny memes, and I forgot to download them all, but we will. Let's see here. We'll do the funny ones tomorrow night. Tonight's a very serious thing. This is Lloyd Johnson. He made those statements today with Zelensky. That's when he basically went to the camera and he said, if you don't send money, Congress, over here, we're going to send your kids. We're going to send your kids over here. We won't spill green on the ground. We'll spill red. We'll spill red. And that's exactly what they're threatening to do tonight with that pint-sized queer dictator of Ukraine. And you say, well, do you believe the Russians are all innocent? Nope, I sure don't. But this war in Ukraine is a fraud. This war in the Ukraine is a fraud, folks. It's a fraud. I do believe that. If you got a question tonight, if you got a question, statement, chat is open in our e-network tonight. It is 10 o'clock in the East. You're watching a very special live McFiles Thursday night with the one and only, the host, Christopher McDonald. Happy Hanukkah to our Jewish friends tonight. Happy Hanukkah. We may talk about it more Saturday night on the Gospel Sing. If you got a question, any questions tonight about what we've talked about, any statements, what we've talked about. Elon Musk was out there talking about Disney today, and it's evil. By the way, this guy here, if you don't think there was some shenanigans in 2020, I want you to watch this video. I did find this one. I should play this one. We're going to talk with Branko about this one. Watch this, folks. Watch
I work at the boat bailouts, which means we get your boats in and we separate it. So if some of these boats happen to say, like this one, Donald J. Dumb Trump, that one just don't make it towards the name.
Now that's from Terrence Williams. I'll play that again.
I work at the boat bailouts, which means we get your boats in and we separate it. So if some of these votes happen to say, like this one, Donald J. Dumb Trump, that one just don't make it towards the mayor.
Yep. Now, I'm sure that never made it to any of these lawsuits that were filed. Should have been. It should have been. Anyway. And folks, I understand, please no comments about the surgery tonight. I'm doing fine. Let's talk about the show. We'll talk about it at the end. Thank you all for the kind comments. Thank you. Talk about the show. We'll deal with the surgery at the end. Speaking of Lloyd Austin, do you believe that the Biden cabinet will make drafting an issue? Yes, Joe, I do. And it should be an issue. And it should scare the hell out of anybody going into that poll and voting for Joe Biden. Because I think they are going to make it an issue. Because that's what he said tonight. He said, hey, if you ain't going to send money to Russia, we're going to send your kids over there. And see, I can see him framing it right now. They can say, well, President Trump ain't going to send no money, and Russia's going to defeat the Ukraine. Folks, the scary thing about it is this, scarier than this patch, is that the Ukraine is a minor thing, and we got another year to deal with this. So a lot could happen between now and next year. Who knows where we're going to be? And China's out there lurking. But anyway. All right. Any questions tonight? Any questions? Any questions tonight? Let's see here. What is that comment? Anyway, got a question in Facebook tonight. And folks, I do thank you for the kind comments. I'm not scolding you for the comments. Just hang on to those at the end. 10 minutes, questions about the show, anything about the show, any comments about what we're talking about tonight, any comments about the show tonight. Cedric Gibbons, I want to read a question that Cedric sent me on the forum page, and Cedric, it was an excellent question when I read it tonight, and I wish I'd have seen it sooner. Where is it? Right here. It was an excellent question. And he says, do you believe that they are holding back the American hostages because they saw the extreme amount that America will pay? Because that's the other thing about the hostage situation in Israel. We've talked about that with Carla Diodesi Tuesday night and last week with some other folks. Look, the fact of the matter is the American government don't even know where the hostages are. They don't even know where they're at. And I don't think they're holding them back because they think America's going to pay for it. I do believe they're holding them back to make America put pressure on Israel to stop bombing the hell out of them. That I do believe. That I'm fully on board that they are doing that. I'm fully on board with that. So that was a good question, Grant. It was a great question. Great question. Let's see here. Any other questions here tonight? Julian, did you see where Mr. Johnson, Speaker of the House, has those 4 Jewish students from college campuses speaking about what they go through in an everyday basis, and the Speaker is supporting them? Yes, I did. I did see that. I did see that. Annette, do you think Stefanik will go after all the colleges? Nope, I don't. I like Elise, I do, but Elise is a politician, and a lot of that was for the camera. But if she didn't do anything else, she took a bite out of the University of Pennsylvania tonight, because they're $100 million broker. That's a word, I guess. Broker in the pocket, in the wallet, and the pocketbook tonight. They're a little bit leaner. $100 million, nothing to sneeze at, folks. You know, I was talking to somebody about this week. You know, we look at the poverty. I was coming back with Caleb today. There were people on the street with signs out for the holidays. I will work for food, homeless. Every time you go down a block, there's 2, 3, 4 people, and I'm not judging these folks. My heart goes out to them. There are times the Lord will lay on my heart to help some of them. The Lord will speak to my heart about certain ones of them, and I'll always help. But I was thinking today, we should not have poverty in this country. We really should not have poverty anywhere in the world, because there's money out there. This donor, you think about some person out there that could write $100 million check. Think about that. Pocket change. You look at the millions, the billions of dollars that go into sports, entertainment, drugs, alcohol, all these things that destroy people's lives and are idols and are worship. And I'm not saying this in a judgmental way, but my point is about the money. And then you've got this world at large that is suffering with hunger and suffering with everything. There's no reason for it other than corruption in the highest levels of all governments in this world. I look at Africa and Zephaniah. He tells me all the time people are starving over there, and I don't have to be told that. I know they're starving over there, but they're also starving here in America. They're starving down under. They're starving in Canada. They're starving in the Ukraine. They're starving all over this world because of corrupt governments. Think about all the money that's being sunk into this fraudulent war in the Ukraine, folks. How much could be going toward these refugees and this situation in Gaza? If the Arab countries, if you don't believe the Arab countries have got trillions of dollars, folks, all this humanitarian aid that's flowing to the Gaza, do you not think that the Arabs could cut a check right now to Israel and say, take this money, feed those hungry Palestinians, feed these people? They could do it in a heartbeat. They're not going to do that. They're not going to do that because they hate Israel so much. They will let people starve to death to prove their hatred for Israel. About like a bunch of people over here in this country. Very similar. Very similar. So, anyway. Carol Smith says the longer the hostages are held, the less likelihood of surviving if they are alive. I agree with that, Carol. I agree with that. I'm not so sure some of them are ever going to make it out alive. I hope they do. Like the lady's husband that was talking with the kids. I hope they do. I hope they do. I'm just curious if we got anybody in the house tonight that's got a child in college. Corey Aguilar says, did you hear Durbin suggested illegal migrants should start joining the U.S. Army? I did. And offer for citizenship to combat the recruitment crisis. It's unbelievable. Corey, that is beyond unbelievable. It's reprehensible. Not so sure it's legal. I'm going to have to check the Constitution on that. I think there's a constitutional amendment in our Constitution that forbids military service for anybody other than citizens. I know that you have to be an American citizen to run for president, but I'm going to give you a heads up what's coming next. One of these illegals are going to get on a ballot. I'm telling you, they're going to get on a ballot for Congress. I don't doubt that many of them are serving on city councils right now. I don't doubt that many of them ain't in state houses already. That's coming next. The military situation, don't surprise me that they would push that kind of nonsense because there is a low enrollment right now in all branches of the military. In all branches of the military. Air Force, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard, all of them. I heard that. I would say something really ugly right now about Senator Durbin, but I'm not going to because I have folks that are family in the house tonight. I'm not going to lower my standards to that to say what I really want to say about Mr. Durbin. You could just figure out his first name and I'll just leave it at that. But anyway, it's a good question, my friend. I would not doubt if they don't start being elected illegally to the House and to the Senate and the Congress. All right, final question. What do you think Johnson will do with all the money given out to the Gaza and the Ukraine? He is trying to stop it, but they are trying to stop him. Julia, what do I think about that? Well, it's politics. That's politics. Look, these political footballs. By the way, I didn't get a chance to talk about it. I'm going to talk about it with Branko tomorrow night. Ramaswamy, or Ravekswamy, or whatever his name is, was probably the most sensible talking dude, and I don't like him a lot. I think he's a charlatan myself, but I have to give him a little bit of credit where credit's due. And he sort of stuck it to DeSantis and Nikki Haley last night and the joke of something called Chris Christie on that stage last night. He basically called them all out for their hypocrisy. Nikki Haley, folks, is out there supporting child trafficking and abuse and pedophilia. She's all about Disney. She condemned DeSantis' tough stance on Disney. She's basically condemned the tough stance on abortion. She's just like a Democrat. I don't even know why she's running on the Republican side. She'd be better off to give Joe Biden the run for his money. I'd like to see a Nikki Haley Donald Trump contest. That come out. But the laughing thing was that Donald Trump won the straw vote in Georgia last night, that he won without even being there. And I would argue he won the whole country without him being there. He didn't have to be there. But I do give Ramaswamy credit. He is a showman, and he knows how to control an audience. And to that, it's what makes him a good politician, because that's what politicians do. And it goes to your question, Julia. There's a lot of these representatives. I like Speaker of the House Johnson. I do. But even he plays to that camera. Elise Stefanik was playing to the camera. They're not going to do nothing about this. If they were to do something about it, then Chris would zip his mouth up and not say that they're playing to the camera. I think that's what we're all sick of. Because they talk a good game. And they get us all fired up here. They get us fired up, and we share their stuff all over the internet like it's the gospel truth. And then 6 weeks later, nothing's been done, and we look back on that share that we did, and we say, well, what did they do about that? They're never held to an account of it. About like these false prophets that are never held to an account, that they all claim Trump would be back after the 2020 election. And they want you to forget about all that. They want you to forget that they predicted that Trump, there's one of them in this state, predicted Trump would be back in the summer of 2020, and then he predicted it again that he'd be back in 21. Nothing was ever held to an account about that. And now he's pulled away from Trump and claims that God's changed his mind about Trump. Well, he sure wasn't changing his mind in 2020 and 21. He was raising millions of dollars off of that prophecy. And there's others of them just like him out there. They were doing the same thing. They all play to the camera. But it never ages well when it's not the truth. It never ages well when they're not standing for truth and standing for what's right. Now, do I believe Speaker of the House Johnson stands for what's right? I do. Is he going to do anything about it? Nope. Probably not. Probably not. Ramaswamy. Thank you, Cedric. He's young. He's young. He's young. He's a little arrogant. But he's a showman, folks. I wouldn't believe too much coming out of his mouth. But it was interesting television last night. I've got to say this before I say goodnight. And thank y'all for the kind words. Y'all can talk now. If you want to say what you want to, you can sort of open the chat up a little bit. I was just wanting everybody to get questions in about the show. But thank you all for the kind words. I wasn't scolding you, folks. That's nice of you. Some lady said, bless my heart. Bless my eye. It was bless my heart 2 years ago. It was bless my eye this morning. I can't get over this right here. I can't put my finger. I was looking at that. I was like, Lord, they're going to think I got the mark of the beast on me tonight or something. Somebody thinks somebody's going to punch me in the face. Or I'm a Gestapo. That's what the Gestapo did. They wore those black patches over their eyes. Lord have mercy. Stuff that we've gone through in 6 years on this network. It's been a fun run. I see all these people going after us sometimes, and sometimes it's subtle, sometimes it ain't so subtle. And there's a little part of me that wants to get upset about it, and then I just have to sit back and laugh. Because we've had it happen before. It ain't the first time it's happened. It ain't going to be the last. We will survive it. It will fade away. They'll get tired of us and move on to somebody else eventually, and that's fine. We love them. They don't even realize we ain't mad with them. I just laugh at it now. I make the mistake sometimes of even acknowledging it, and I shouldn't. But I've had a good run. I've had a fun run. This is fun stuff to me. This is fun. Thank y'all for your kind words tonight. Oh, it's not been boring, Carol, that's for sure. No, it ain't been boring. I can tell you that right now. My take on the IHOP situation. Well, who is that? I can't read your name. More property cards. I'll tell you my take is very similar to Stephen Strange's take. I think you need to let the facts play out. I personally believe there's just a lot of people that had a vendetta against the leader of that ministry. And I think there were a lot of people that were out there slandering him minutes after it came to light without getting the facts straight. And now that the facts are out, they're not going back and apologize. And I'm going to say this about that tonight, folks. There's a lot of people out there that have slandered people. Slandered them, flat out slandered them. Just slandered them because they're angry or they're whatever. And they put stuff out there and they want to get a piece of flesh and they want to take their shot. And, if that's what makes people feel better, let them do it. But the sad thing about it are the number of people that shared that lie to others without it being corroborated. So that's my take on the IHOP situation. Look, I don't necessarily agree with the theology of the leader. To be frank with you, I don't. There's a lot of things that he teaches I just don't believe are biblically right. But in this case, I feel like that he was given a bad deal. And again, if the facts prove otherwise, Chris will be the first to come on this network and say it. But we're not going to get into slander. We're not going to get into unsubstantiated things. And there's some networks that are dedicated to that. We're not going to be one of them in 24. I have ridded this network of that. I've cleaned all of our old videos out that had anything like that in them. I went to the Lord with it and said, Lord, I'm sorry if we've ever done anything slanderous on this network with unsubstantiated claims. We apologize for it, and I apologize to you tonight for doing it. It will not happen again. I can tell you that. So until we can prove something, or he comes up and admits it himself, which he's not done, because there's no there to it. That's my feeling about the IHOP situation, and it probably should be yours. Get the facts straight. Get the facts straight. Not the International House of Pancakes. Nope, Cedric, not that one. Not that one. Jenny says, take it easy. It is honestly, and it is biblical. It is biblical. Just from what I've heard, somebody had a vendetta. Just based on what I've heard and what I know. And I do know some things that we've not discussed. I hadn't even brought it up on the network, but since you asked a question tonight, I'll address it. That's all I got to say about it. That's all I got to say about it. Anyway, all right. Thank you for the question. Any other question? Any other goodies? Any comments? Any comments? Any comments? Any comments? Any statements? Any questions? Any questions? A lot of hearts. A lot of hearts. Kathy Long's in the house. Good to see her tonight. Kathy Tardif. Julia says, do you think the live... I can't read it, Julia. I guess if the J6 protesters will ever be released. Nope. Look, I think the only hope the J6 protesters have is Trump. I think if he gets in the office, he'll pardon them. He'll pardon them. Short of that, no. That's what makes this testimony of Chris Ray so hypocritical. You've got people in jail wrongly, and he's out there claiming we got a threat on every corner that he's never seen before. Well, the real threat's the FBI. I mean, they're the threat. They are the threat. I mean, I'm just asking y'all, it's an opinion question. We got to quit. It's already 10:30 tonight. We've been going an hour and a half. I got to quit. Do any of y'all feel secure going to bed tonight knowing that the FBI is protecting you? I don't. I don't. That does not gender any kind of peace in my heart that the FBI is protecting any of us, or the CIA, or the NSA, or any of them. I mean, I'm serious. I mean, no. But yet they're hauling people to jail, Catholics and pro-lifers and everything else. And pro-lifers and everything else. So, anyway. Gene says, hell no, I'll give you that. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. All righty. Let me check our Facebook page before I say goodnight. Let's see if we got anybody. Victoria says, amazing recovery. Let's see here. Elaine Willard says, I know that people were let out of prison during World War II with the offer to shorten or commute their sentence. Well, it's possible that they were. It's probably they were. It's probably that they were. All righty. Sorry for the squinting, folks. Anyway. All right, listen. Thank y'all for being with me tonight. I think this is what we needed to do tonight. Nothing against Eric Karen. I'd love to have Eric on, but I just wanted to come run my mouth. I just wanted to come run my mouth and look like I've been beat up on air tonight. Oh, happy Hanukkah. It's a joyous occasion tonight. Festival of Miracles. It's a miracle. It's a miracle. The Festival of Lights tonight. We do wish, truly, our Jewish friends a very happy Hanukkah tonight all over this world. 8 nights, 8 days. No wonder them Jewish kids look forward to this. They get presents on every day. You get a present every day of the holiday. We only give our kids here in America on Christmas gifts one time. Now, I've not unveiled the Christmas tree yet, but I will. I'm going to play a song going out for you tonight, though, in honor of Hanukkah 2023. And if you'll give me a minute, I'm going to play it here. Now, I'm going to debate whether I take this down. We're going to put it on Rumble. And anyway, where's that download at? I thought that should have downloaded that. Hang on just one second. There it is right there. Okay. Let's see here. How is that song? I think it's this one right here. I'm going to play this one going out in honor of our Hanukkah friends, but I'm going to play a Christmas song, one each night. We are approaching the 12 days of Christmas. What is it? 7th? 18 days till Christmas. And after Monday, because Hanukkah will end Monday, we will unveil the Christmas tree behind us and make all the Christmas haters go crazy. Just like we're making all the Jew haters go crazy on our network, which I enjoy doing because it's the McFiles. And Chris has a good time doing it. And he's had a great run for 6 years. And I'm excited for year 7. I hope you're going to come along for the ride. And we thank you for your support financially, spiritually, emotionally, support-wise. We're grateful that you've been with us tonight. Put some fire in that house if you enjoyed the show. And let's play a song about joyful Hanukkah. Be blessed tonight.
Erect the temple and burn the Torah, carry Raindrops on roses and whiskers on kittens, bright copper kettles and warm woolen mittens, brown paper packages tied up with strings. These are a few of my favorite things. Cream-colored ponies and crisp apple strudels, doorbells and sleigh bells and schnitzel with noodles, while geese that fly with the moon on their wings. These are a few of my favorite things. Girls in white dresses and blue satin sashes, snowflakes that stay on my nose and eyelashes, silver white winters that melt into spring. These are a few of my favorite things. When the dog bites, when the bee stings, when I'm feeling sad, I simply remember my favorite things. Then I don't feel so bad. Girls in white dresses and blue satin sashes, snowflakes that stay on my nose and eyelashes, silver white winters that melt into spring. These are a few of my favorite things. When the dog bites, when the bee stings, when I'm feeling sad, I simply remember my favorite things. And then I don't feel so bad. Happy holiday, happy holiday, may the merry bells keep ringing, happy holiday to you. It's the holiday season, and Santa Claus is coming round. The Christmas snow is white on the ground. When Santa gets into town, he'll be coming down the chimney down. He'll have a big fat pack upon his back, and lots of goodies for you and for me. So leave a peppermint stick for old Saint Nick hanging on a Christmas tree. It's the holiday season, so hoop-dee-doo and dickory-dock, and don't forget to hang up your sock, 'cause just exactly at 12 o'clock he'll be coming down the chimney down. He'll have a big fat pack upon his back, and lots of goodies for you and for me. So leave a peppermint stick for old Saint Nick hanging on a Christmas tree. It's the holiday season, so hoop-dee-doo and dickory-dock, and don't forget to hang up your sock, 'cause just exactly at 12 o'clock he'll be coming down the chimney, coming down the chimney, coming down the chimney down. Happy holidays, happy holidays, happy holidays, happy holidays. May the merry bells keep ringing, happy holidays.